Fireworks in Feodosia keep flaming, allies of Ukraine are still wavering, and the upcoming Ramstein meeting has a lot to promise. Hello and welcome on UATV. Today me, Pavel Stermach, will be presenting for you the top news of recent days. The Pentagon doesn't want Romania or Poland to shoot down Russian missiles over Ukraine, as Volodymyr Zelensky insists, because such an intervention could be seen as direct NATO involvement in the war in Ukraine, as US Defense Department spokeswoman said. Sabrina Singh, a Pentagon spokeswoman, was asked by reporters about Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's repeated request that NATO help intercept Russian drones and missiles flying over Ukraine and heading towards NATO borders. If it is possible with Israel, then why not with Ukraine? One journalist asked. Let's hear her answer.
Two very different landscapes and battlefields. The president has made a commitment that, the United States is not putting boots on the ground into Ukraine, but we are supporting Ukraine in their efforts to take back their sovereign territory. That would be involving us in a war in a different way, and right now we feel that Ukraine has been able to successfully defend against Russian strikes.
So, shooting down missiles and drones are not the variant for NATO now. Remembering the incursion of Russian drones into Romania and Latvia, airspace violation of Poland by Russian missiles, this is very disturbing, as the Federation of Evil understands only the language of power and resolve. We can assume these incursions to continue in the future before the decision is made, especially if you watch at the Feodosia fires after Ukrainian drone strikes. Viktor Bout, known as Putin's death dealer, is spotted selling weapons again. Negotiation supplies for Yemen's Houthis. This is reported by the Wall Street Journal. After being released from a US prison in 2022, he's back in the spotlight. He's trying to get back into the arms business, this time through a possible deal with Iran's proxies in Yemen, the Houthis. In August 2024, representatives of the Houthis traveled to Moscow for talks under the guise of buying pesticides and vehicles for agriculture. However, according to European sources, what was actually discussed was a $10 million deal for light weapons. The deal has not yet been finalized and no official deliveries have occurred. Nevertheless, the possible delivery of even light weapons has raised concerns for the US, as it could affect regional stability. The Houthis have already attacked international trade routes more than once. Washington also fears that Russia may be supplying more sophisticated weapons, such as anti-ship and anti-aircraft missiles to the Houthis, although there is no evidence that such systems have been transferred by Bout yet. The publication recalls that Bout sought Soviet weapons in Africa, South America and the Middle East for several decades. He was arrested in 2008 during a US special operation, and after his release he became a local deputy of the Ulyanovsk region in Russia. Bout's return to the arms business could increase tensions in the Middle East and prolong his decades-long career of selling weapons to dubious clients. The world is waiting for the 25th Ramstein meeting on October 12th, where leaders of countries and not just regular representatives of allies will be present, including Biden himself. There's an expectation of something big, either symbolic or practical, from this meeting. I talked today to Mr. William Tellier, an ambassador of the United States to Ukraine in 2006 and 2009, a very good friend of our country and an expert in American politics. Let's hear what he's about to say about the upcoming meeting and whether we can expect Ukraine joining NATO perhaps, or building another local security alliance with partners.
That's certainly a possibility, Pablo, but the gold standard, the best security guarantee for any member of this alliance, any member of NATO, including the best opportunity for Ukraine, is NATO. There can be other alternatives. There can be bilateral security guarantees. There can be small subgroups of allies that can get together and provide security assistance, defense for their members, as you indicate. But the best guarantee of security for Ukraine would be, in my view, membership in NATO. And you ask, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. As you say, it's been discussed for many, many years. I remember when I was serving in Ukraine in 2008, Ukrainians will remember that there was a NATO summit in Bucharest, and the United States and many other nations were very eager to convince all the NATO allies that Ukraine should start on the process to begin a membership action plan that would lead to NATO membership for Ukraine and Georgia, by the way. Now it's again up to the United States to take the lead on pushing for Ukraine to be a member. And now, unlike in 2008, there are many more NATO allies who are prepared and supportive of Ukraine joining NATO. There's still a couple, of course, that need to be convinced, including the United States. The United States needs to come to this conclusion again and come to the conclusion, the decision that we came to in 2008 that we'd always kind of adhered to, which is nations get to decide themselves. They are deterred from using these weapons. And so we should do what we need to do, which is provide Ukraine with the authorities and the weapons to do what they need to, and to invite Ukraine into the alliance, NATO alliance, when leaders get together for actual decisions. One decision, of course, that might be made either publicly or privately is to allow Ukraine to fire deep into Russia at military targets.
Though that was Mr. Taylor's opinion, I wish I could be as much optimistic as he is about Ukraine's prospects on the upcoming Ramstein special meeting. Let's remind us on October 12, 2024. That's also all for today. Stay tuned with UATV for more important and interesting news. Subscribe to our channel and share this video, as it is exactly your support that really matters for us. Take care.